Hello, lovely Hallmark of Greatness enjoyer. Mark here. I just want to take a moment of your time to talk to you about something fun that me and my 100 Things We Learned from Film podcast co-host are doing. Last year we were gutted to hear about the passing of regular 100 Things listener and all-round lovely young man, James Allen, at only 37 years old. Earlier in 2024, James had been diagnosed with incurable bowel cancer, and in that time, Teesside Hospice provided James and his family with excellent palliative care. We wanted to support Teesside Hospice by raising some much-needed funds to continue helping enrich the lives of those with cancer in Teesside. So in a bid to raise some much-needed money for the fantastic charity, on Saturday, May the 3rd, John and I are walking the Ullswater Way and Dalmain Loop in the Lake District. That's 25 miles, or 6.5 lengths of Tarnsey, to keep it relevant to the podcast that you're listening to. We know times are tough at the moment, but would love if you could sponsor us with anything that you can spare. Or perhaps you know a builder or joiner that got rich taking money off Lime Productions whilst not finishing the work. I mean, send them our links, please. It's 100 Things We Learned from film.co.uk or justgiving.com/page/100 Things Pod. Also in the show notes, isn't it, Joe? So please, give anything that you can. If you don't, we might send Ray round to drink all your booze and knock up a really shit wall. Anyway, on with what you're here for.
The following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Pod-Castaway, the show that gets drunk in supermarkets with Brian Ferry. I'm Joe, and with me as always, staying, but only because there is 4 tea bags, it's James.
You're going to leave then? Yeah.
And bleeding from the mouth and smelling awful in a taxi, it's Planty.
You weren't there when that happened in Stornoway to me. You can't claim that you were there and you knew what happened.
Wait
What
until
happens in
May,
Stornoway?
and then all will be revealed.
We've got 2 weeks, yeah.
I will have a tale for you. If you want to keep up to date on the Hallmark and Greatness
alright,
gossip,
Pete.
you can find us on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Facebook at Hallmark and Greatness. Or if you'd like to shit yourself from drinking yeasty beer, email us at hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com. We're going to finish this because we're heavily involved now, and
We're in the eye of the storm, I think.
we are in the nexus of this now. Yeah.
You say involved. Now, I didn't want to say this off air, and I don't really want to say it on air, but we're maybe 2/3 of the way through, and I don't really know what I'm going to do after it's gone. I was thinking to myself today as I rewatched episode 10 and part of episode 11. Is that what we're on? I don't know. And as I sat watching them, I was kind of like, I'm just going to have to start arguments in empty rooms once this isn't here.
About stuff that's
The debate continues to
inconsequential.
rage.
No, because we've got the second one, Pod-Castaway, where it was on a tropical island. Is it in New Zealand somewhere, Castaway? And then there's also that Projects one that they did.
Yeah,
Project
the
Runway.
Eden one.
No, was it Project Eden or something? I think that's the actual thing, isn't it?
There's a few of them. Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's one of them where they just stopped filming it after like 2 months and didn't tell anyone and just fucking left them. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
They never go well. This is the first
'Cause it's
one, though, so
kind
no
of
one knew.
boring
No
and
one knew it'd go
bickery,
badly.
isn't it? And but I kind of want to watch the other ones just to see if they live up to this one, because as the originator, as the OG of fuckwits living together, the show, if it ever gets better than this, or whether it's that thing of people start playing up to it, and like the original Big Brother was very good, and then by like season 4,
Yeah,
it was just
know the
people using it
format,
as a
start
launch
fucking
pad.
around.
Yeah. So I think it's is it episode 9 and 10?
Episode 9 and 10.
This
A
is
big
episode
fat
9.
head.
We've had 2 episodes that were almost exclusively about Ray, who's now left the island.
Which was
So
essentially
surely things
one
will pick
episode
up.
split over 2 nights, though, wasn't
Yeah.
it? To but yeah, Ray's gone, and boy, do they hate him.
Yeah, because it all starts to turn in on itself now.
I
Yeah.
tell you what I hate, and that's children singing.
I just hate children in general, and the fact that they're being used as human shields by some people.
We'll get into that. We're now up to about May 2000.
It's
the year 2000.
May Day. Yeah, it's May Day, isn't it?
Start with
Yeah.
May Day.
A
And you
lovely-
can tell that it's May Day because we have the first annual Children's May Day concert, a
Yeah.
1-year-old tradition that will only ever be 1 year old. but it's a tradition nonetheless.
It made me want to follow Ray off the island. I don't know
Yeah.
anybody else. Jesus,
Was
the
it
kids
penny
weren't
whistle,
into it.
Whistle?
The only
Or was it
the only
jazz
people
piano?
that were into this were obviously Porrig's penny whistle and Roger on his fucking piano.
I mean, to be fair, it was proper. Over here, it was proper boogie woogie piano, weren't it? Like,
And the children on the beach. The children on the beach.
I thought that it took a turn when I saw the Wicker Man.
I thought, oh wait, what the fuck's going on here? The fact they put like a line of phosphorus leading up to it or something.
We
what
get
was that?
we get a recap of how Ray used to like walking in slow motion menacingly towards a camera, which
They've
was his
used that
favourite
shot
thing to do.
3 times in 2 episodes.
And
not
then
getting
they
paid for
create a Wicker Ray.
They do. They make this pretty big Wicker Man, and then they put a beard and beer can eyes.
Yeah.
And there's lots of jokes about Ray just being drunk constantly. Like everyone knew, but no one said anything about it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I thought because it's got that white line of phosphorus. I put is Porrig expected to sumo the Wicker Man? What's the
I think
deal?
it's in case it comes to life. Like somewhere Ray touches like a Chinese wishing bowl, and his body gets sucked into that in a kind of Freaky Friday style situation.
You mentioned Beer Can Eyes, which I think is a Kim Cairns song, isn't it?
Yes, it's the follow-up one.
I thought it looked more like Peter than anybody else.
yeah,
It had
yeah.
Mr. Twit vibes going on, didn't it? Looked like one of the evil giants out the BFG.
Yeah, Bone Cruncher or whatever. Yeah. But then everyone's kind of like, Ray, like there's a lot of animosity to him. But what's done is done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I put that it's turned very traitors now that Ray's gone, because it's now who was the influencer of his actions. Ron was the influencer.
Ron was the
Yeah,
influencer of his actions.
let's get Ron.
Yeah.
Can you imagine sailing by this one day looking for dolphins on a pleasure cruise, and there's just this giant wicker ray, and they're just burning it. Porrig's hoying like Molotovs at it at one point.
There's just children dancing around the worst maypole ever while Podrig's and a giant. Well, no, because it's not a ray anyway, is it? Because due to complaints from some members of the community, they take the beard out off it, and I'm like,
who do we reckon it was?
Julie quite liked him.
I mean, it seems a bit spiteful, but also you need a community to rally against something. If someone's not there, then what harm is it going to do? I'm not saying we're going to.
I think at some point somebody just went, "Are we actually burning the effigy of a man?"
Yeah.
So do we really
It's a
want?
bit real.
Do we really want the children to see this?
Yeah. So even Ben and Toby from Leeds, they reckon that Ron was behind all of this. They think he enticed or encouraged him to go to the press. So now we see another side to Ron in a couple of clips, slamming doors. This is his signature move, slamming doors in people's faces.
That door gets slammed a lot.
It's his Mortal Kombat signature move.
It's his wrestling finisher. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell it was a safety door though, because the one with the glass didn't smash.
Yeah.
So
The fucking hinges on that by the end.
It's an absolute Ron hunt, because it's Ben, Des, Julia C. I'm starting to call her Julia C because obviously there's Julia C and there's Jules, listeners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely Jules.
Someone
Trish,
who didn't know the names at the start, he's now on
Yeah,
board with
well,
it 100%.
It's the books, man. It's the book.
I
It's
guess,
the
yeah.
tome. The tome is really helping me. And
gospel.
and then watching
And
it
your
a second
lovely
time
acoustic
without
guitar in the
subtitles.
background whenever you read it. Many
Well,
times.
It's
I've actually got
repurposed that, James.
it's one of the cats
thought it
is
was.
actually out the back there strumming away. And they've all got it in for him. Yeah, we've all got it in for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've just finished my recognising domestic abuse training at work, listeners.
Fucking hell, keep it light.
Just in time.
Grim as it sounds, and I recognised 2 different types of control here from Ron, including coercive, which arguably is the worst.
I mean, I don't rank
Anyway,
them.
go on. I should have said all that for any
What's your,
future
what's,
episodes.
what's, your,
one.
what's your favourite domestic abuse, Mark? Jesus Christ, I was not expecting that at all.
It was a good bit of training, actually.
No, I imagine it is, but we've got enough trouble coming up in the next episode, like without dragging it down in this one.
But this is Jules saying, "J'accuse."
Well,
She's adorable.
She is, but also is it not when she says like, if it wasn't Ray, it's Ron, and if it's not Ron, it's someone else. Like we have to have.
Oh.
Oh, is that what she
blood.
was getting at? Right. Okay.
Yeah, like everyone's accusing everyone because there's no trust now. And I was like, was there ever really? Everyone was stealing shit off each other left, right, and centre.
Yeah. Ben Fogel raises that there's been psychological bullying against him to the production team, fucking grass. And they suggest an emotional inquest, which I quite liked as a Can I Borrow a Feeling style album title.
We're going to get Hans Bricks.
Yeah. The inquest is the most horrendous thing I've had to live through, says Julie. And we see all sorts of people getting upset who don't usually get upset, which is a red flag right out of the bat. Ben's leaving in tears. Trev heatedly saying, "Say it to my face." He's now shaved his head and gone Full Metal Jacket style into this.
I had American History X, but they both work. It's
I
fine.
just got albino conker, but fair enough.
And some random man shouting. Is that
Who
Colin?
is-
Colin's
no.
a butcher? I don't know.
No, we had him a few weeks ago, and it's completely the guy with the dreads, or the
Yeah,
curly
No.
the guy that looks like alternate universe Dave Lister when he ceases to exist in that episode of Red Dwarf.
Yeah. We had him a few weeks
That's
ago. He's
Warren,
gone
isn't
now.
it?
Yeah, Warren. There
But
you
no,
go, yeah.
no, this is somebody else. I thought
Oh.
it might be Colin, but I didn't recognise him. And he's still getting people now. Like
Who haven't
Kevin
made
will
it.
just turn up. You're like, who the fuck is
Well, no,
Kevin?
I think the problem is that we see them with different haircuts every episode,
Yeah, that's.
and it's
possibly.
confusing. Yeah.
I think some people just don't get the airtime, and I think some
Some people
people
will probably
actively
just-
try to avoid it.
People just getting on with it, whereas other people
Yeah.
will, yeah. But no, he does. Colin or Kevin, whatever he's called, well, non-union Dave Lister. He does make a couple of appearances over the next couple of episodes, from what I remember. Well,
With his glasses, with his kind of like.
Oh, that's
no, he-
definitely Warren.
that's Warren.
Well, that's no, but the other guy does. The guy with
Oh,
the
right, okay.
he's
Right.
got like a big. Forget it. Never mind. I can't think.
You'd
of the name.
think I'd be able to help here, but there is no glossary in the book, and I haven't gone back to the start yet. So
That's fine. It's fine. Again, I think he just calls Peter a knob, and that's it. Like when they're all sitting round.
it's fair.
Like, that's well, it is, but yeah.
That's classic Warren.
But yeah, this everyone is now just. And I'm like, it's like an emotional knife fight between everyone. Like,
Oh, that's
this
a better album title one. I think. Of that.
But this is not how you deal with problems. Just having everyone yell at each other. I mean, maybe it was back then,
Yeah.
primal screaming or whatever.
But this is the thing. Everyone has to take a turn to yell at someone, and it's just. Why don't they have a sumo fight? It would release more energy. Ben eventually goes to see Ron in his still unturfed pod. None of these pods have been turfed still. This come autumn, they're just flying off the island anyway. So no one is doing any of that work. We also
it's just that thing of they've had, and then later on, is it this episode where they go
later in a later episode.
Is it a later episode? Yeah. But they just go digging up fucking turf to
Yeah.
set on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
what-
credit to Ben for approaching Ron over this. I think he's being the bigger man, and Ron is having absolutely fucking none of it.
No.
He's sat there with his arms crossed. He says, "I'm sorry you feel that way," which is
Oh.
a classic, not an apology from Ron.
Yeah.
What's he supposed to have done? to
Bullying
Ben?
him psychologically.
He hasn't spoken to him for 2 months.
Starting rumors
Dead
about
set.
him that that, like Tammy washes his clothes for him or something.
Yeah.
All this petty stuff. But he says
Yeah.
everything. When I ask you, it all feeds back to you, Ron. And I think we get a bit with Mike as well, where when we first arrived, Ron said there will be people on this island that I will be friends with, and there are people that I will never speak to. And I hope that me and you can possibly speak at some point down the line.
It's weirder than that because what he's
it's Toby, isn't it?
Is it
It's
Toby? Sorry.
And
From
he
Leeds.
says Toby from Leeds, and he says our relationship is a little present I can unwrap later in the year.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah. Which
I tell
is
you
horrible.
what, I'd unwrap this prick with my fists.
At
can't,
what
though,
point
'cause
is he
then
going to
that's-
unwrap the present? Oh, I'm unwrapping the present.
probably when that pod blows away and they've got to all bunk up again.
Hay delivery. It's hay delivery time. Like Catan, I'll be expecting clay, sheep, stone, and wood delivery at some point in the year as well. Sandy, lovely Sandy, is become quartermaster, logging everything.
It was May Day and then it was Hay Day.
Oh, episode title.
Yeah. I think I was going with emotional nut fight, but whatever.
Sandy loves everybody unless they're nicking food, and then she is ready to fucking suplex people.
Who is Sandy?
Same.
Have we seen her?
Yeah, so Sandra was lovely in the first couple of episodes, and she was dead excited, and she wished she'd done it when she was younger.
That's
and she
who
loved
she is.
Ron.
Right.
She loved Ron. She thought Ron was the loveliest lovely
Right.
that there ever was.
With you. Yep, on board.
And she becomes an absolute fucking monster this episode.
Yeah,
Yes.
because the thieving Stevenson's purloining and stuff. So she's like, well, I'm going to keep a log. They aren't supposed to receive parcels, but they somehow start arriving anyway because no one's screening the parcels.
You would think the post office, like BBC, Lion TV, would be like,
Production team, yeah.
Yeah, and,
would be
and here's
They're
the bit.
supposed to put it aside.
Here's the bit that got me the most. The parcels start arriving, and Mike's like, oh, yeah, they all have to be a certain thickness. Oh, look at that one. He's squeezing it down, going, it's not particularly thick. It's fine. I can have that one. And then some woman is interviewed called Hillary Freeman. And I just wrote, who the fuck is Hillary Freeman? Because she has not come up in 6 chapters of this book that I've been reading.
I think she looks a little bit like Gwen in the face, and I think when she's like wearing a hat and stuff like that, I think I've just put it down as
we've
Gwen.
just put it as Gwen.
All right,
Yeah.
okay.
Maybe I think she's somebody that avoids the camera as well.
Well,
Yeah,
I
'cause
can only
when-
assume she doesn't want them to have post because everyone else is on the camera, and so people are writing to them. But they don't write to her because she's not on the fucking show, as far as
Oh,
people
they're
are
writing
concerned.
stuff to Gwen. Yeah.
See, Gwen, we love it when you put a hat on and you look 10 years younger.
It's not. He doesn't squish the parcel down. He holds the end of the envelope and go, that's thin enough.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's
From a
good
hot
too.
sauce.
Mike's-
It was important.
It will
It's
be
in there as
hot
the hot
sauce.
sauce.
Yeah,
But it's,
Mike's another MVP for me.
Oh yeah. But it's as he's stood there holding him, a woman just comes along and throws a load more at him as well. Like, there's your Terry's chocolate oranges. Shop
He's
shop
like,
damage.
he's like, be careful, there's glass bottles in there. That's
Yes,
chutneys, marinades, and hot
From
sauces.
Hotheads with a Z.
We also get some actual work. An 8-foot perimeter fence to keep the raptors out now needs to be built. Possibly against Ray coming back. I don't know.
He knows where all the landmines are.
My
And it's an
favourite.
initiative led by Des. Go
Yeah, and Des is great. Des as a gaffer is my favourite person that can be putting people to work.
He's
great.
as much as I didn't like Des at the start, he gets on with it. He gets his head down. He seems fair with
Yeah.
and
And
he
he's got his own
introduces
hammock so he can relax.
and
You got
and
the Hammock District.
he introduces a initiative to get people to help. Whoever does
mean,
the most
granted-
posts gets 24 cans of lager.
No, I think it was like
24
6,
cans of
wasn't it?
lager, which is not that many by the end for some reason.
Yeah, it goes down.
No,
There's
no,
an error
that's-
on the accountant on Sandy's accounting, but
No, that's just a reward for those that helped finish. That was secret beer. That
Oh, right. I was going to say the lager was merely resting in his account.
in his bladder. Yeah, but he's like 80 posts, 24 cans of lager. Like, I can't even do the maths on that, but this is what we've become. And I'm like, yeah, but it's better than all having to drink out of one can and get horrible diseases off each other, isn't it? Like, you had to do it. You had to do it at Tammy's party that time.
I would have liked to have seen him do a little bit of work himself instead of just standing around with his hands in his pockets.
I think it was just boring to film because he was just good at it. Whereas when they filmed Ben, he was just banging the end of that post. So it went all like a palm tree.
yeah, that was good. We also get a new castaway now. Ayla, the
Ailey.
horse.
Ailey the horse. The
The
loud
horse
Ailey the horse.
arrived a while back. And I was like, what do they need a horse for? Turns out, sledge.
Yeah.
Slavery. So they need a horse.
Pulling stuff on a cart made up of driftwood and washed up boys. There's a lot of washed up boys on that island. You're gonna have to be more specific.
But yeah, they're moving shingle off the beach to put in the field.
Well, no, they were trying
Oh, it's a
shingle
test.
because it was light.
Yeah.
Because it was light to see
No, but
how
Tammy-
much she could
Tammy
pull.
says like over the past month they've moved like 50 barrels of
Oh
shingles.
yeah, there is that. Yeah, there
And I'm
is
like,
that.
are you building a rockery? What are you? But I was also happy for some kind of scree. Like,
Yeah.
scree adjacent, innit? Yeah.
Scree. We used to have a scree gong on this show.
We did. I've lost all my. I'll get the scree gong back.
She can pull a cart, but can she plough a field? The answer is absolutely not. The result
No.
looked like a razor blade and an earthquake.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
She can't walk in a straight line. She's obviously been at the home brew.
There is a
reason
horse
for it.
pissed in my Jockey Wilson suite.
They have to hire a rotivator instead to do it, which is fair enough.
Pat giving us
Peter
a nice
explains-
wink as he motors by on the rotivator.
Yeah, well, you
He's
would,
great
wouldn't you?
quality.
Pat is living his best life in this
He
episode.
is.
And the next
I
he's
like
loving
yes,
it.
he is.
He again turns his hand to anything. He's not bothered, and what happens is.
You
But
should have just tied the plough to Ron. Let him fucking and then I don't know, put some Benson and Edges in front of him. Oh,
Yeah, that's
backy.
That's his tip.
But
A whole bottle of brandy.
why are they sending all these pregnant animals to this island?
You don't know it at this point, but yes, it's really like heavily panting and exhausted, and
It's
like,
knacked, and I was like, I don't think.
this.
Well,
Tanya looks like she's just gonna burst into tears.
Yeah,
She's like the animal whisperer, isn't she, old Tanya?
She's took it upon herself. She's looking after the horse. She might be one of them horse people that likes horses, and she's like, "Yeah, that's not a normal noise. We can't do this. She can't do it. It's not right." And they don't. They hire the rotivator, and I'm assuming someone's wrote a check for that.
Yeah, well, don't get into
Check
it.
guarantee card.
Peter explains that the ground is very thin and acidic, but they can grow root veg in it. And the days are so long that the growing season is short but heavily compressed, which I found fucking fascinating.
Well,
I was well up for this. That's
What
something I didn't know.
Absolutely loved was his description of the polytunnel food. It's dramatic, exuberant, and fertile.
Yep.
The
use
I
of
wish
the
I'd
word
stop saying that.
Peter saying the word fertile always gives me the ick, man. Like yeah. No, but I was like, please, I want breakdown of soil acidity at this point.
Yes.
It's good for root vegetables,
didn't know
but
that.
not for cruciferous vegetables.
That's exactly what he said.
Yes.
Yeah. What he said. Yeah. So
The
he said
thing
they
about
told us
this-
we could probably grow a cabbage, but they won't be very big.
This thing about Tarrantay is that it is exactly like Craggy Island in that the field is the one place where there aren't any rocks or something. Because the rest of it just seems to be rocks.
Yeah.
And that weird Lord of the Flies style island that can only be reached by stepping stones that they keep showing.
Yes.
Somebody's going to get murked off that.
It's like going to Knaresborough. It's going across the stepping stones. There you go. There's some regional North Yorkshire chat, literally just for me and James.
Appreciated.
There you go. Ron doesn't want to do out, but let's be fair, lads, and everybody listening. We called this in episode 1. Like he hasn't changed. He's not grown in any way.
He wouldn't do the orienteering, and he literally says, "I don't want to do this. It's boring. It's backbreaking. It's mind numbing. Why would I want to do that?" And I'm like, "Well, you get no food then."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, they won't share that with you then when the crop
'cause
comes
you've
in,
not even
when the boat
put-
comes in.
I mean, he could go like, "Well, I'm teaching the children what with your big rubber snake. What are they learning?" As we find out, not a lot in that fucking school.
Yeah.
But he's not contributing to the society, so therefore he should be ostracized.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they put him in the Wicker Man because I don't think Ron and Ray would like that, either of them.
I don't know about ostrich size. He looks normal size to me. But...
No. But yeah, he would.
It's the only animal they've not got on the island.
Yeah.
He says that the work is laborious and boring, just like some of the people here.
Yeah.
Examining his nails.
Yeah. He says they're only planting potatoes so that they don't have to think or communicate with people. And just hear me out. Maybe they're doing it so they don't fucking starve.
Yeah, so that they can have. We're planting potatoes this big to get potatoes this big. Yeah, that's how potatoes work, mate.
Yeah, that's right.
And anyway,
you can just go to the supermarket and get some. And I'm like, well, you
can go
can't
to
because you're on a
Sainsbury's and get a
fucking
big bag.
island.
Well,
Aren't you,
actually,
you
that's
dick?
going to be proven wrong later
Well,
on, Joseph.
yes.
But okay.
And I hate to be pedantic about this, but making a hole for the fence posts, that was boring.
Yay!
It was a real Saxondale joke there. Then we get Dog Gate. Ron
This is
wants
still
to
going
start
on.
7.
puppy.
Still going on.
Dr. Roger says the dog rules are being flouted all the time because they were petty as fuck, as we learned in the last
I would
episode.
flout the dog rules constantly,
would I.
just to annoy Roger. There was one in the kitchen, and Ron was in there, and he wasn't trying to remove it. Yeah, well, like, as long as it's not on the counter. Also, if you've got a dog, you've eaten more fucking hair than anything else anyway.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. He says, oh, well, maybe we could vote on it. And I think Des says, we did vote on it, and you told us you didn't want one. And he goes, oh, I'm not getting into this stupid game. And then Des just talks with, well, you won't get a puppy then, Ron. Yes. Go on, Des.
Yeah, I
I
like
get
that. He
vote.
says it how he sees
There's
it.
a lot. There's like Des, Mike, all the like they just have got no fucking patience for him.
No. And fair, you wouldn't at this point.
But you said you didn't want one. You said like I don't want the drama, and now because they're going to get removed off the island, to new homes, way into the North Atlantic. But now he's like, I want one now, and I'm like, I don't know.
So we have a further vote, and all those against, everybody votes for, except for Dr. Roger and his thatched roof-haired wife, Rosemary.
And one other person who I didn't get.
Oh, was it? All right, okay.
It was like 17-3, I think it was.
Yeah. And most of the people that voted for it just want Ron to shut the fuck up, which I can understand.
I probably just wanted to go to bed.
Yeah.
Countless meetings.
Oh, it's just meeting after meeting.
This episode is full of meetings. Can you see why its ratings tanked? Trisha,
you messaged me when arguments the episode. Yeah.
Trisha surrenders the puppy to the police? Question mark.
We do get that bit though,
away by Dingy,
where she's explaining to that kid that, Merlin's going away.
Yeah,
and I'm like, Peter's fucking named all these puppies, hasn't it?
Jules is comforting. I want to say she's called Joseline or whatever she's called.
Let's
the child.
It's
one of Tanya's
Jolene?
kids. Yeah, not Jolene. It's called something else.
Jolene's the mirror.
I must figure out who that mirror was.
And she's comforting the child. That's exactly right. And she's going to an island where she won't have to eat potatoes
every meal. It is kind of sad, but So Ron's got his one, and I think he has her one.
And in exchange, he gets a mysterious package off the Dinghy Man.
Yeah.
Well,
he's
all
because
it can't see Stephen's album. It contains
bring gin from the Dinghy Man. But he said I wrote him a check, and he's come back with
check.
like my Christmas shopping.
He's got tabs. He's got
tabs. He's got
Backy.
Backy. He's got a full bottle of brandy. He's got a bottle of Smirnoff. He's got 8 cans of Tennants.
Like. Ron advertising booze
on
the BBC really was weird to me because you know the rules about the BBC. Of course, listeners, other Scottish lagers are available, but if you have those, at no point will Ron go, "Ooh, lovely things."
Well, this is they do say like this is contraband. They're not meant to do this.
Yeah.
Like it's not in the nature of the game. You get £5 a week allowance to spend on stuff.
Gin.
Like, you're not going to get much gin for a £5, but yeah, he's wrote a check, and he's got a dragon's haul of goodies. Like, and I'm like, you're not experiencing the Castaway. You've come here as a jolly.
Yeah.
You've come here as you think this is going to launch either your boy band, whatever they were called,
Mandate.
the shit pipes. There wasn't Mandate. Or it's to boost your work at Kew Gardens, or wherever it was you work, or your burgeoning psychology degree, which I would not let him psychoanalyze anyone.
No.
More fucking jobs than anybody I've ever met. Like, I assume every single person that works with him in each of those bits of his career, it was like, listen, I'm going to need a year off. And they went, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Off you fuck.
Anyway, so he's got all this big haul of stuff. We also see Ben Vogel rugby tackling a lamb, which is something I never thought I'd see.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah.
It was a good callback to the first episode. Yeah.
Yes. He and Philly and someone else dock the tail of the lamb. The pigs have also had a litter, so it's very livestock heavy.
Yeah.
And then we get Horse Jesus appearing.
They roll back the thing, and Tanya says, "I was called out. You've got to come and see the horse." Oh no, it's not dead again, is it?
That's what I thought.
No, better than that. It's
a lot of
giraffe.
smoke alarms.
It's not. This horse has got the longest legs.
It's a baby horse. They're all kind of. Baby horses are like that. They're all kind
like
of
a fucking spider on roller skates.
Bambi. They're all Bambi, aren't they? Like it's
the biggest thing. Biggest shock.
You know
that horse was ploughing all along.
I wouldn't eat any of the turnips on that island because it's clearly got some kind of curse on it, like them checkout seats they have in supermarkets where all the women get pregnant who sit on it, that kind of thing.
The fence gets completed, and Des wants them all to have 3 warm-looking cans of Stella, Shawshank Redemption style.
He's brought 4 cans of Stella with them, like in the Shawshank Redemption, where they're drinking on the roof. Yeah, it's exactly like that.
I mean, but on that subject, Tanya does say, "Oh, it feels a bit like Colditz, doesn't it?" And then she does her absolute best Alan Grant from Jurassic Park on the thing. A little bit Sarah Connor.
Trev's eyes light up at the promise of Stella. He says, like,
He's the only thing he looks happier with is the promise of getting his tongue down Tanya's throat.
well,
So, go on, Trev.
And they all have a go at Toby and his cloudy beard, which everyone seems to hate.
Oh, poor Toby from Leeds. Yeah.
yeah, it's.
He's from
But he
Leeds.
says they're all taking the piss, sat next to it under like some manky cupboard, and he's like, I said, like, leave it to clear, or you can drink it straight away, and none of them do.
No.
I'm like, would you not shit yourself inside out?
Yeah,
As long as I was
including
pissed, I
himself,
wouldn't
he
be
says.
bothered.
Like,
Yeah, he's
you can
like,
be
yeah, I'll
patient
knock it
enough.
back
I mean,
anyway.
I'm not. They're that desperate for booze. It's Ben's birthday next, and the sparkling comes out. It could be Ron's hidden contraband, but somehow I don't think so.
No.
No, they said they have a stash of fizzy for special
Emergency.
occasions. See, I've got a feeling as well that Ron is using all that contraband to bribe people.
Yeah, probably.
Come and have a drink with me.
You're wrong. With a big brandy glass that he's got.
He's got a smoking
And
jacket
a high
on.
back chair.
Dull and monotonous, like people on this island. Let me unwrap my tiny presents. Yeah. But no, I reckon that's what it is. He's using them tabs and that snout to
That's exactly it.
Well, he hates Ben Fogle anyway. So there's also like a swimming bit as well.
Because it's nice. The weather's nice finally.
Yeah.
Well,
Still looks a bit cold, but you'll get used to that.
This is where we get the bit of Tanya. Is it Tanya?
Oh,
Yes.
Tanya. Yeah, Tanya's a
Where
feminist.
she's like,
yeah.
well, it's not that she went, it's nice being here because you forget what it's like in the real world about having to look nice. And it's the same stuff that Tammy said earlier of like, you just get on with it. You don't have to put on these airs and graces. But I've started noticing men like leching at me and stuff. And I'm like, well, we know who that is, don't we, Trev? Mike.
Yeah.
The two horniest men in the world.
Yeah.
Who are probably, yeah. But yeah. And
That's
I
all
was
the
like,
Trevor Mike show is now.
so they just shut the door. Yeah, we're just going to record a video diary and they're just banging away at each other.
Yeah,
Put this
Toby
hat on so
also
you look
says
like Jules.
Toby says that he's getting on well with Tammy, who actually does look happy after all of that stuff with her mum in the last episode.
Yeah.
That's quite nice to
good.
see. There's a nice romance brewing there. The Trevor Mike show goes on about this, and they do a thing about, well, this is how rumors start around that, which was quite funny.
Yeah.
And then we get sort of, nicer weather, people able to go out more. And Rosemary says, when you have constant wind, you don't realise how it wears you down.
Oh, I do. Trust me.
Believe me, I've had bad guts since I had that pint in Morecambe at the weekend. But yeah, the swimming thing. Let's all try and get Tanya in a swimming costume.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
it must be, yeah. But they look like they're having fun. Yeah, all the young kids go and
All except for Tanya, of course.
But
But then she has got a job to go back to at
she's
Flaps
supposed-
magazine next
she's-
year. So.
I think we should have picked big fat cocks. But she's supposed to be videographing them anyway, isn't she? So like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it felt like it was a good bit of bonding. This, of course, annoys Peter.
But
Because
not
all-
just
Yes.
Peter. It annoys Sheila Jowers, who I assumed, because we've not heard of her for 5 episodes, was dead. I thought she'd been murdered by other members of the harem.
I don't remember this. What did they say about it? Young
no,
kids down at the beach.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Peter gets up and he gets up at 10:30 and works till 4:30 with an hour for lunch. And it's the same thing that Ron was saying and Des was saying the other weeks. And it's just like, yeah, but you can't do that 7 days a week. You've got to let people have a bit of, time off.
Yeah.
They've been
'Cause
doing
it's-
stuff as well. I mean, it's like the fence mending and stuff like that.
Yeah,
They've
where were
been
you
putting
making
up.
that fence, Peter?
But also, don't come the big bollocks here and go, oh, but I'm starting at 10:30 and finishing at 4:30, and yeah, I am taking an hour for lunch, but I'm working all those hours. Mate, shut up. That's not work.
No. Again, it's May now. The sun's out longer. They've already said, like, the growing season's because of the weather. So you could work longer hours. You don't. You've worked 10:30 since to 4 ever since you arrived there. Whereas when the clocks go forward, it should all move. But don't tell that to Peter the Great, who has trimmed his beard so he looks less like Mr. Twit now, though.
He does.
Yeah. Well done.
Roger, of course, wants to tell us about the school.
The
He
school
loves the
is something he's
building.
actually positive about.
But he calls it the space. And I'm like, mate, this isn't Homes Under the Hammer. Stop being a prick. And this is
we
the
get-
space.
We get a long pan of it in the sky of what would now be a drone shot. And at one point, it just starts like twirling. ridiculously,
twirling.
As though they've kind of got the controller stuck and it's just going around in a spiral.
There's a helicopter crash happens just off once it cuts.
And what are the kids learning about now?
Well, we've got Ron and his big snake, haven't we? Big rubber snake.
Yeah.
We've got pushing red cubes around. And I think in the next, is it the next episode or is it this episode? Singing hurtful songs at fishermen.
It's the next episode. Yeah, we're gonna be mean to fishermen.
See, I thought this was a game of Pandemic they were playing. It was because of the meningitis scare. They've got to learn about how
do you reckon?
Jesus.
But and he's going on. It's a great active learning thing. And I'm like, I want to know if any of those kids have gone on to do anything like education-wise, higher education-wise or anything, or if they're all like, because he's going on about they're learning reading and arithmetic, and I'm like, yeah, well, they should be. Like, but also they're not being taught by teachers; they're being taught by Des and Ron and like people who are not qualified to teach children.
Did each of these kids get kept back a year the following year when they got back to
probably
normality?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have if there was a really good beachfront right outside. It looks ace, but it looks distracting.
Yeah, I would never got nothing done. No.
But he says something like they can just fall out of the schoolhouse onto the thing. Mate, maybe put a barrier up if that's what's happening.
And they'll play for hours, so you don't got to bother with them then, have you?
Yeah.
You can just stride around your mansion, chucking stuff in that room of the oubliette. Yeah.
I thought it was
That's
quite
probably
nice
where Sheila's been trapped.
Now, but yeah.
Trapped under all them beds.
Thinking of the bothy, Sandy's got a plan for it. That's where she's going to hide contraband supplies. Mm-hmm. She's suddenly decided. Now, I have got a theory here that Dr. Roger has persuaded her that there is a sudden critical food situation that she needs to get a handle on because she's in full panic mode.
Yep.
Roger's walking around with like hundreds of pounds in his jacket pocket, and they're going to go off to Harris to Stornoway to go and get supplies.
Yeah.
And it's all very swift.
It comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We get the bit about the school, and then it's like next morning, they're on their way to the bothy, and I'm like, why are we going there? And we Ray's snuck back on in a scuba suit or something. Like,
the line is the cesspit of contraband goods. Which I thought that's a great. I can't remember who said it.
God, I can't keep writing all these down.
And then, they basically. So everybody, quote unquote, a number of the castaways have given Roger money, and he's counting the money, isn't he? Outside the bothy. And he says, and whoever's interviewing him says, and do you think they all trust you? He's like, trust me, I'm a doctor. It's like, all right, crippin'. Okay, now.
Also, you don't believe in antibiotics, though. So
I know, yeah.
Take that with a pinch of salt.
Warren, the father of Kira, loves it, and with his dreads and dark sunglasses, I'm sure he'll be ordering the new Jamiroquai album.
Where are they getting this money from? Who took money with them to an island where there is nothing to buy?
Is it arriving just like one ATM in the bothy?
There's one ATM and one prawn curry house, yes. But unless people are sending it them in the post.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's quite
Uncle Creepy Uncle Alan or whatever the other week. I'm sorry I missed all your birthdays. Here's 50 quid. Spend it on gin and tabs. There you go. Right.
All these relatives coming out of the woodwork now. Yeah. We get backlash to this. Of course we do. Peter reckons that it's Dr. Roger that's done it. He says he's manufacturing crisis.
Yeah, he has manufactured a crisis because is it Tammy and Des go out to the storage area where the smoke alarms and batteries are kept, and they're like, there's potatoes, there's beetroots. Yeah, all right, there's no green vegetables, but it's 6 days. And Des goes, 7. And she goes,
yeah.
Like,
we'll make it. But it's Tanya, and Tanya says, mushrooms, Marmite, oranges. Yeah, there's loads we can make with that. I was like, okay.
Liquid smoke.
Sheila says, well, if I think it's like the folates or something that Dr. Roger wants for his children to have.
His children specifically.
Yeah. And Sheila says, well, there's radishes. You can cut the tops off those, and they're
full of green. Yeah. They go. This is the aftermath. They get to the island, and it would appear that Sandy has never been in a supermarket.
She's absolutely lost in Tesco. No idea what's going on.
It's like the Clash song should have been playing in the background. Like. Yeah, she's just like so many precious things.
But when you think about it, like 5 months away, like only seeing 20 odd faces, 30 faces that you recognise, and then going to apparently bustling Stornoway Tesco Extra or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think it was an Asda, wasn't it? But
yeah, mindfuck. Yeah.
I get it, but you wouldn't forget how supermarkets work. Like,
Well, I
don't know where they go.
Ray did.
All the toilets are all the toilets are just smeared with his blood.
He's just walking down aisles, glugging at.
It would have been good if they went in and Ray was just ransacking the place. How you doing there?
Like that opening scene from Constantine where the guy just can't get any drink down him.
As Toby says, you either look childish by not eating the stuff that comes back or drinking the stuff that comes back, or you risk becoming a hypocrite. And he would rather look childish, which I understand. And Roger and Sandy, when they finally come back, are brought before the community to account for their actions.
Yeah, no.
Wicker, man.
I'm like, this is where the kangaroo court start. There's
another instance here, Joe. You mentioned at the beginning of using a child as a bulletproof vest.
This is what I meant. Yeah.
He's sat there with the child, and he's going, yes, and we've got this, and we've got that, and we've got, and he says, we've got all these lovely things, and the kid's like, ugh. And he got one of the lines he says is, and we've got turkey for Easter.
Yeah.
And I thought, is that a famous Easter meat that I've missed out on?
Lamb
because
at
to
Easter?
my mind, lamb is what you eat at Easter. You eat
Turkey
turkey
got
at Christmas and Thanksgiving.
They're fully stocked on lambs running about.
Yeah, they got loads of
Murder
them.
one of them.
Been cutting the balls off them all. Yeah.
Even Roger's son doesn't want to eat his ill-gotten gains.
No, I mean, I'm with Cuthbert or Quentin or whatever he's.
Felix.
He's just like, we've got this. We've got salmon, and I'm like,
yeah, tinned salmon even. Ugh. Like the worst salmon. I love salmon. I hate tinned salmon.
Yeah,
because I'm normal and I didn't grow up during the war.
It's like cat food. Yeah.
Yeah. Liz says that the problem she's got with it is that it wasn't a collective decision, and he's compromised the integrity of the project. And Roger just starts laughing at her. She gets really upset.
Don't laugh at me. And she's like, well, do you want me to? I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the prospect of what you're saying. And she's going, answer the fucking question. Yeah. I shouldn't say that. She says, no, I want you to account for your actions. And he's got sitting there with a shit-eating grin on him. And she stomps off. We get another door slam.
Yeah, that
door's
door.
getting...
That's just... so I can see why it's a lot of fun for people who don't have responsibilities like children, says Dr.
Fuck
Roger.
off!
Yeah,
other people came to the island with their children when it wasn't finished. It's still not finished.
Yeah.
Right? It's not finished.
It's finished.
Right? But they're just like, they were getting on with it. They weren't using their sickly, weak Victorian Jacob Rees-Mogg looking children. Right? You can't use your children as a human shield for this. Yes. Also, the fact he said, it was a lark. It was a bit of an adventure. And I was stop. You fucking punch-reading twat.
He's very punchable in this moment. It actually stirs Peter to anger because he weighs in on this. And I'm like, yes, Peter, go for him.
Mate, at this point, I was like, Pete.
Yeah. Peter calls this adventurous thing a post-facto rationalization, or an ipso facto rationalization, as Rosemary calls it.
Roger, knock it off with the big words, mate.
He's just showing off, says Roger. And then Rosemary gets really nasty and says, well, none of you minded when it was cigarettes and whiskey, and you've all had some of that.
So give the kids some cigarettes and whiskey then.
Yeah, get them started young. It's Scotland, isn't it?
Cigarettes and alcohol? No, I think that's Oasis. That's not who they're getting.
But no, he says post facto, and he goes, you're trying to justify it after you've done it. There was no justification beforehand. You just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to retcon it. And he's like, no, I needed to buy salmon and turkey for Easter.
For the children.
For the kids. For the Wayans.
And chocolate buttons.
Tammy wanted 2 chocolate buttons.
Easter eggs. You can't buy 2 of them. You have to buy a packet. So this episode ends on a really sour note with Dr. Roger gloating away. Yeah. Everybody hates him.
But at least it's not going to get any worse than this, listeners.
No,
I
mean,
this episode is going to be its very lowest ebb, and it's not going to get any worse at all.
Yeah. Sandy has been brought into this as well, and I'll say this for her: she doesn't try to sort of defend it. I think she was just caught up in panic mode because of Dr. Roger
But
and got
she's
caught
got
up in all of this.
clipboard with everything on it, right? Also, I'm
Oh,
thinking.
he's doctored that. That's where it comes from. Doctors.
Also, thinking about it though, all the food is in their house. It's in the big house, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's to stop them when everyone else is away, asleep at night
That's
in the
it.
pods? Them coming downstairs and nicking all the lentils and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had loads of stuff.
Oh, we'll
there.
have nothing for Easter.
Yeah. Like there's a huge bag of potatoes, I think, isn't there? There's a huge bag of some sort of veg.
Yeah.
There's
some
potato,
sort
no,
of
but they
cheese.
go like, we've got walnuts, we've got dried fruit, we've got enough. We're not going to
Yeah.
starve. It's not going to be like. But I think it's is it Tammy or Philly? Is like they weren't here at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't know when it was
Yeah.
a potato with another potato on top.
Yeah.
Like you weren't here during the Spud days. Like you've got it good now, right?
The Spud days.
Because I kind
So
of
many
like,
episode title options.
I can't retcon him. But yeah, and I think I don't know why he did it, unless it was just for the bees a lark. Like,
I think so. I think he is just a bastard.
and he just wanted to just mitch about, or to
Manufacture chaos.
Or to prove
Peter
a
says
point
all of this. Everything that's happened has been like a massive crisis that he's instigated.
Yeah.
Oh, the dogs. Oh, that's such a big problem. It didn't have to be a problem.
Can I just point out as well who phoned the news with Ron?
Yes.
With Ray.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
It was him.
We're looking in the wrong places. Ron is an innocent man.
Oh, steady.
Oh.
Jesus.
he's not a good man, but he's not a bad man either. All right.
Get it in the water, or I'll kiss your daughter. Drinking from a puddle, giving her a cuddle. Lofty facts. Lofty.
Yeah, so we'll leave you this from Lofty. No one ever died of pain. Fear and pain look on them as being very, very positive. That's his technique for dealing with situations, which is also to take a big, deep breath, collect your
And some
thoughts, and carpet bomb an arid country.
Laugh at the death of Steve Irwin.
Absolutely. I thought we would end somewhere with a happier tale, if that was if that's all right, gentlemen.
Yes,
it is
please.
a slightly longer read, this, than previous. I've got a couple of pages to read out here. It's from chapter 10 called Calm Blue Skies. And it's about some of our favourite castaways. A tent was the last thing that Mike Laird would be taking with him as he headed off to the hinterland of Tarnsay a few days later. It was the first of his long-planned, quote-unquote, survival exercises. Although he never made it on the army officer course, he and a fellow reject made a habit of spending their holidays going on tough, some might say foolish, adventures. They had walked across the Sinai Desert without a guide, hitched along the Syrian border, and found themselves facing the wrong end of a gun barrel whilst on a jaunt into Cambodia. The lore of Castaway 2000 for Mike has always been the survival aspect, as he said in the previous episode, and demands softer participants from mod cons and what he saw as luxuries, I don't know, like hot sauce, had irritated him. Now at last he was getting a chance to test himself in the way he wanted. His rucksack was not, he confessed to his diary, as small as he'd hoped, containing as it did rod and fishing tackle, sleeping bag, bivvy bag, tarpaulin, spare thermals and socks, reindeer skin, 2 books, writing paper and fire lighting equipment. In the pockets of his jacket, furthermore, he had sunglasses, camera, spare film, balaclava and skinning knife, ropes and his quote-unquote magic bottle. This last thing contained his entire food supply: chili, powder, garlic, salt, 3 sachets of sugar and 3 OXO cubes. He had eaten only a bowl of muesli for breakfast. The temptation was to eat as much as possible. I refrained as I knew it would make the sensation of hunger greater later in the day. With him were good friends but rookie survivalists Trevor and Toby.
Yay!
In great spirit, we maintained a very good pace, Mike reported, and got to the furthest part of the island in less than 90 minutes, which certainly amazed me. Trevor and Toby are faster walkers and perhaps slightly fitter than I, he admitted ruefully, so I had to ask them to slow the pace at times. The trio found a suitable base on the edge of a bleak, pebble-strewn beach in the ruins of an old black house, which I think is a 50s horror film. A huge section of washed-up pipe nearby, 30 metres long and 1 wide, provided, Mike reckoned, an emergency bivouac. I just think about that bit where Homer's stuck in the the slide and they pull him out. It's one of my favourite screenshots.
Everyone, get in the tube!
Yes. The Action Man, now I love the fact the book keeps calling him the Action Man, now got going.
Because he's got no genitals.
Lighting a fire, using wool from a handily placed dead sheep Toby and Trevor.
What is it with Mike and dead animals?
Toby and Trevor, meanwhile, built a shelter from driftwood and Mike's tarpaulin and then went foraging for food and water, returning with a selection of mussels, limpets and cockles. We cooked some of them, but not many. I guess the reason was we were not really hungry enough to find them all that attractive. Huddled up against the wind and rain in their shelter, they read to each other until it was time to sleep.
Oh, that's adorable. I hope it was like filthy stories.
I hope it was when the wind blows. We all prayed that the tarpaulin would not rip or blow away. The next morning, the group leader was up at 8:30 a.m. After some false starts, Toby soon had a roaring fire on the go. On went a pot of assorted shellfish. All three sat on the pipe, sharing the contents, crunching their way through, quote-unquote, the small pearls and bits of sand. By the following evening, having nearly been washed off the rocks by a wave like a mountain of water, but nonetheless having failed to hook a single fish, the trio was starving. They could, of course, have walked the 3 miles back to Piebald, but that would have spoiled the whole exercise. Instead, Mike asked the others what they thought about catching a sheep for dinner. They seemed up for it, Mike wrote. I had a length of rope with me and figured we could catch one with it. We came across 3 sheep, 2 ewes and a ram. As we closed in, we pushed them down on the shingle beach. We managed to separate off the ram and closed in further on the ewes. When we went for one and I threw the rope. I missed. The only chance now was to tackle it down. Mike threw himself at the animal and held it down, sitting across its back. I had one hand under its chin and my knife ready to cut its throat. I asked the boys to commit, yes or no, and they both said no. I got off the sheep, slapped its back and got up and walked off. I would have expected it to run, but I think it was rather stunned. Toby and Trevor gave a very valid reason for not killing it. They said we could only justify killing a healthy sheep if we were prepared to eat most of it. As chance would have it, as we approached the Black Pipe Beach, we spotted an ailing sheep. You could tell it was ill because it was stumbling around and kept falling over.
Could have been Ron, Ray.
I think it's had some fucking Ray's homebrew. With thoughts of lamb still fresh in our minds, I said to the guys that we could kill 2 buds with 1 stone. That's not a thing. We could put the poor thing out of its misery and also have a meal. The others were now in agreement. The trio gave chase down onto another beach where they closed in bit by bit, and then the unpracticed slaughter got across its back and got my big knife out and pulled and pulled. I expected an audible click or a gush of blood, but nothing happened. I knew I had to act quickly to minimise any distress the animal was in, so I put the knife down and decided to break its neck instead.
What the
Get off.
He never taught you this.
It took all my strength to lift the chin and pull the head all the way over until it was flat on its back. I got Trevor to hold the head still whilst I got the knife and slit poor beast's throat for good measure. Blood spurted everywhere. I was not sure how to feel. I'd never killed an animal this size before. It certainly didn't feel good, but on the other hand, I was quite proud that I'd managed to go through it and not bodge it up. It was kind of great white hunter thing. It's a fucking lamb. I have always wondered if I could do it, and now I know I can. Having hacked 2 legs off for their supper, I did feel pangs of sadness when I started. I was fairly certain that this animal was pregnant. Mike dragged the remains of the corpse to the water's edge and let the tide carry it away. The trio suspended their prey over an open fire and cut the meat off piece by piece, like a kebab. After the meal, they read to each other again till darkness fell. A great evening. Rising early, they returned to Piebald by 8:30 a.m, only to discover it was in fact 9:30 a.m. The clocks had gone forward and winter was over.
I don't know.
That's like Beowulf, but about sheep. The fuck was that?
I also
like How I Became a Man.
All 3 of them sat on the pipe sounds like a euphemism.
I mean, it's the women are not giving them any shrift, are they, on the island? Let's be fair.
What? I don't understand. Why?
That was wild.
What was this for?
They just wanted a fucking jaunt. Mike's obsessed, isn't he? Mike is obsessed.
I know, but let's go.
I liked it when they sacrificed a sheep corpse to Neptune. That was creative.
And all the baby sheep in it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Fuck, man. He's a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason
Definitely
for any of that. No reason for any of that other than fuck it. Let's go up the other island. Let's go up the other side of the island and get stuck in a tube and read erotic literature to each other.
And murder a poor pregnant thing. Yeah.
Maybe that's after eating sand. You're just ready for anything. I could murder a sheep.
I was conscious, listeners, as I read that the other night at bedtime, because this is my bedtime reading. I thought it's too long. I'm gonna have to cut it down, but I couldn't find any stuff I particularly wanted to cut.
No, it all needs to be in there.
It's like Stand By Me. It's just you have to keep on going with it to the bitter end.
That was awful, and I hated it. It's just unnecessary.
Yeah.
I tried to kill it by stabbing it with a knife. Well, that didn't work. I thought I'll break its neck. So he span its neck all the way back.
until his neck touched its back. Oh, no.
And then I cut his throat for good measure. It's like he's triple killed a pregnant sheep.
Is that like triple cooked chip?
Oh, God. And they just threw the rest of it away.
And then when they returned to camp, winter was over. It's just so symbolic.
The annual sacrificing of sheep to the ocean that must be done, and 7 years of good fortune will follow. Oh, my. Your favourite lines from the episode?
Your friendship is a little present I can unwrap later in the year.
Dramatic, exuberant, and fertile.
Say goodbye, boys and girls.
Bye.
Hurrah! Saucy pirate and clattering fannies I have used twice at work each.